Can you see the file?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Indian philosophy and its distinctive background. I found this very interesting document, and it gives fair picture of the whole of Indian philosophy, its classification. So it is advisable that you go through it. After reading it, you can go to this article, Philosophy as Distinct from Religion in India. Read in an order because it requires some primary background. So I asked you a question in the last class. When we ask a question and you are supposed to respond to the question, the first and foremost requirement is that you must address the question. So we were discussing what is Indian in Indian culture, and the question came because we realized that Indian philosophy is something which is rooted in Indian culture. So Indian philosophy is part of Indian culture, and therefore there must be something unique about Indian, the concept Indian, and it must refer to something, and we must be able to visualize, we must be able to understand what Indian means, right? When we say Indian, so what does it mean? And in order to specify its meaning for the purpose of our study, we have realized that understanding of Indian culture in a brief way will help us to make sense of Indian. And I asked you to write, as per your present understanding, what is Indian, the way you understand Indian, and certainly we are going to expand or specify the sense which we are looking for. But I wanted to have your reflection on this concept. And since you have already gone through some of the literature in your school days, so you must have some idea that what is called Indian culture. And in order to specify what is Indian culture, we need to have two approaches. One, we need to identify on the basis of its markers, and by using the markers of Indian culture, we can differentiate it from the cultures which are non-Indian. And this is the academic approach when we try to understand any concept. First, we try to understand it in a positive way. What does it mean? What it refers to? What this word stands for? And having some idea about the referent, the thing which is referred to by using that concept, we try to differentiate it. We try to understand it by differentiating it from the other things. This is the way we understand any concept. Try to understand any concept in this way, that what it refers to, and then second is that how that thing which is referred by this concept is different from other things. And the other things include something which is similar to that thing, and also things which are entirely different from that. So confusion is possible when we see similar things. So consider when I say Indian philosophy, Indian culture, there must be something which is similar in both the concepts, and we need to understand that thing which is common, which is shared by these expressions, Indian philosophy and Indian culture. And we have resolved that yes, Indian culture is a bigger circle, a bigger area in which we find Indian philosophy a part of it. Similarly, we have Indian art, Indian science, Indian history. You can just go on adding to the branches of study. So Indian culture is a comprehensive concept which includes all these branches of study. So the first attempt is to understand what Indian means. So we have seen that what we call the classical India the ancient India, and what we call India today, India as it is today. So we need to understand the concept Indian in both the senses. The concept as it is used in the classical ancient India and the concept which is used today. Some of you have very rightly pointed out that the concept which we understand today, India, is a political entity, it is a geography, and in that geography, we have a constitution, and the constitution defines who can be called Indian. If you want to understand India as it is available in the Puranas, basically, different Puranas, I would refer to one Purana called the Vishnu Purana, and some of you must have heard the name, the Vishnu Purana. In the second chapter of the Vishnu Purana, you find a sub-chapter third. So in the second chapter, you go to the third sub-chapter or subsection, and there you will find the geography which is mentioned. In fact, the geography is regarding the whole of planet Earth, and it is said that the whole planet is divided into 7 dvipas, 7 continents, and among all these continents, Jambu Dvipa is in the center. In the Jambu Dvipa, there are different Varsha. Varsha is Khanda, part. So in the Jambu Dvipa, there are different parts, and one of the part is called Bharat. So if you have interest, you can go into that, and the Vishnu Purana is available online also, so you can easily download and see it. The first sloka of the third subsection of second chapter in the Vishnu Purana, it says that Uttaram yat samudrasya, samudra ke uttar mein, हिमाद्रेश चैव दक्षिणम, जो हिमालय है उसके दक्षिण में, समुद्र के उत्तर में और हिमालय के दक्षिण में, वर्षम तत् भारतम नाम भारती तत्र संतति, ये विष्णु पुराण में बात कही गई है. The Constitution of India also takes the very concept Bharat in the first article of the Constitution. जो पार्ट 1 में पूरा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन आप जानते हैं कि 22 पार्ट्स में डिवाइडेड है, तो जो पार्ट 1 है वो इंडिया की टेरिटरी के बारे में बात करता है. तो पार्ट 1 में 4 आर्टिकल हैं. जो पहला आर्टिकल है, फर्स्ट आर्टिकल ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, वो क्या कहता है? इंडिया, दैट इज भारत, शैल बी द यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट्स. इंडिया, दैट इज भारत, शैल बी द यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट्स. तो ये भारत जो कॉन्सेप्ट वहाँ यूज किया गया है, उसका मतलब क्या है? ये जो हमारे पुराण हैं, वहां से वो अर्थ हम निकालते हैं. उस अर्थ को आज की जो पॉलिटिकल इंडिया है उसके इस्तेमाल करते हैं. वो पूरी तरह वही नहीं है जो एंशिएंट इंडिया था, लेकिन रेफरेंस पर्पस के लिए, नाम के लिए, संज्ञा के लिए हम इसको देखते हैं. तो जैसे विष्णु पुराण ये कह रहा है कि द geography which is in the north of the sea and south of the Himalaya, Himadri, is called Bharat. It is this Bhukhanda which is between the Himalaya and Samudra is called Bharat. And the people who are populating this region are called Bharati or Bharatiya, you can say. So what we understand Indian in Indian culture, geographically, it refers to this very notion. Geographical India is the part of land which is in between Himalaya and the ocean. And this geography has got some unique culture, right? So the culture which is prevailing in this particular geography of the planet is called Indian culture or Bharatiya Samskriti. So it is very convenient to make sense of what is Indian with reference to the territory, the geography. And always remember, I'm talking about the ancient India, the classical India. I'm not talking about the political nation India today. So in this geography, you find 7 countries, what you call SAARC countries. And in the popular term, you use that it is Indian subcontinent. So the culture which is prevailing in the Indian subcontinent is basically the reference when we use Indian in the classical sense. And that is still available. That particular understanding is still a dominating understanding. It is still available. So all the countries which are part of the Indian subcontinent share something. And the sharing is our reference point when we use India. So I hope you have made some sense of this concept when we use Indian in Indian culture. And it is this very concept which is used when we refer to Indian philosophy. तो जो इंडियन है इंडियन कल्चर में और इंडियन फिलॉसफी में उसका एक टेरिटोरियल अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, राइट? वी आर अंडरस्टैंडिंग इंडियन भारतीय with reference to the belief systems, the lifestyles, the art forms which we see in this particular territory. As I said in the earlier class also, that there is diversity of the beliefs, there is diversity of lifestyle, there is diversity of food habits. You consider all the components which are called cultural components, and there you will see profusely diverse things, right? ये जो पूरा टेरिटरी है इसमें डाइवर्सिटी, and I said that day that this diversity is so vibrant that it includes all kinds of climatic conditions, all kinds of ethnicity, all kinds of belief systems which are found anywhere on the planet. तो जिसको हम इंडिया आज कहते हैं उसमें, और जिसको आज हम इंडियन कहते हैं उसमें, और जिसको क्लासिकल इंडिया के सेंस में इंडियन या इंडिया कहते थे उसमें एक आपको डिफरेंस दिखेगा. तो जो आज हमारा नेशन है पॉलिटिकल इंडिया, ये नेशन उसका एक पार्ट है. इट इज नॉट द होल थिंग. So I hope I made some sense regarding what Indian means in Indian culture, and it is that meaning which is a primary meaning in Indian philosophy. Now we need to specify this sense of Indian. So I have some personal observations on this, but before I share the personal observations, let me tell you what is the prevailing beliefs regarding Indian culture. What is unique about Indian culture, and that thing is not available in any other culture. So first thing I pointed out in the sense of territorial understanding that the culture which is prevalent in this region is a diverse culture. It is plural, multiple. So this multiplicity or plurality of the belief systems, of the lifestyles, of the food habits, and different perspectives related to the whole of reality, it is plural. What goes along with this plurality is the spirit of coexistence. It is not that one thing is conflicting with the other thing. One lifestyle is conflicting with the other lifestyle. One food habit is excluding the other food habits to the extent of animosity. So the diversity of Indian culture involves this very notion of coexistence of all these things which are available in this टेरिटरी. ये हमको बहुत ढंग से समझना पड़ेगा, ये चीज हमको अप्रिशिएट करना पड़ेगा, और इस चीज को पहले समझेंगे फिर अप्रिशिएट कर पाएंगे. बिना समझे हम किसी चीज को अप्रिशिएट नहीं कर सकते. इसका मतलब क्या है कि ये सारी चीजें यहाँ एक साथ ही अवेलेबल हैं और एक साथ ही एग्जिस्ट कर रही हैं बिना किसी कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के। तो पहली बात जैसे हमने कहा कि ये प्लूरैलिटी है विच इज द हॉलमार्क ऑफ इंडियन कल्चर, और इसी से जुड़ी बात जो मैंने कही कि in this plurality all the components are coexisting harmoniously. There is a harmonious coexistence of all these elements. That is the second thing. Then third thing is that people who are populating this region have some unique aspiration, have some unique viewpoint regarding what is the purpose of life. The other cultures do not share that thing with what we call Indian culture. And what is that? It is the aspiration of Swarga and Apvarga. These two concepts again are mentioned in the Vishnu Purana, just immediately following this sloka of the territory. It is clearly said that people, Bharati or Bharatiya, aspire to attain Swarga and Apvarga. And we will see these concepts in our discussion little later. One thing you need to focus is that the people have some perspective towards life. The perspective towards life includes a higher goal which everyone wants to attain. And that higher goal is understood in terms of Swarga and Apvarga. Associated with this is the fourth feature in Indian culture. And this fourth feature is not very commonly acceptable to all the belief systems prevailing in this region, but largely people believe in this, the concept of rebirth. The goal of human life is so unique that it cannot be just attained without effort. And the effort is not confined to just one life. We must long for that ultimate goal, life after life. And this is possible only when we believe that, yes, this life is not the whole thing. There is something which is preceding to this life, and there will be something which will take over. We are looking for something which is valuable in itself. It is not valuable for any further end. So we believe that there could be different ways of accessing to that ultimate objective. This is again unique to Indian culture. In other cultures, which are not born in this particular geography, they don't believe in that. They would say that, no, there is just one goal and there is just one path. There is no other path. That is not the spirit of Indian culture. The Indian culture very emphatically proposes that, yes, the ultimate objective is, of course, uniform. There is no disagreement on that. But then, in order to achieve that objective, in order to reach to that goal, there could be diversity in our approaches, in our paths, in our efforts. This acceptance is something which is unique. So if you consider in a very broad way what we call in the Indian culture, these 4 or 5 things can be referred to. And then, of course, we need to dig out, we need to explore deeper into each of these factors in order to visualize clearly what Indian means.